Hey everybody, MarcusCWilliams here. So, normally I'd put this type of video on my the MarcusCWilliams channel, but I think that this video needs to also be on my campaign page. So, here's what we've got going on, and forgive me if I get a little emotional or start feeling some type of way. Bear with me, this is extremely important to me. So, I think that nobody has been talking about the persecution of Christians. And that's not a thought, right? That's like an actuality. Like, this is going on not just in America, but all across the world. And more every day it's going on in America. It's very frustrating and upsetting. I'm gonna get to it. I'm trying to fix my emotions, okay? So, first off, about a month ago, not even a month ago, last month, we had an issue where there was a shooting in California. This happened right after the Buffalo shooting. So there was a shooting in California where the guy shot up a church, and it wasn't even in the news, right? It was in the news for like 2 seconds because some Chinese dude shot up a Taiwanese church, okay? Now, I don't know if you know about the religious persecution of Christians in China, but it's bad, right? So you hear about the religious persecution of the Muslims in China, and you sometimes hear about the persecution of the Falun Dafa or Falun Gong, whatever you prefer to call it, practitioners there as well. And that's not even a religion, okay? But you don't hear about the persecution of the Christians there, right? You hear about the persecution of the Christians in literally so many Northern Africa countries. Do you hear that? No, but it happens all the time, okay? What about the kidnapped Christian missionaries? You hear about that? No, but it happens all the time, okay? But nobody speaks up for us. Nobody speaks up for Christians, and it's really peeving me off, okay? It's like, I live in a Judeo-Christian nation, and nobody's speaking up for us, okay? It's so frustrating. They'll say, oh, well, the Jews, oh, well, the Muslims, but nobody says, oh, well, the Christians. It's never, oh, well, the Christians. It's always slowly stripping away our religion, and it's very frustrating. And I think, honestly, the Jewish people need to stand up a little bit more, too, because I'm more of a Old Testament type of Christian, but a lot of this stuff that's going on today is like absolutely ridiculous, and I don't understand why they're not more actively vocal against a lot of the garbage that's out here today. But anyway, back to the persecution of Christianity. So this Chinese dude went and shot up the church. Where is that on the news, right? Did you see it? Did you know that a couple days ago, what was it? I want to say it was Wednesday or Thursday. Today is Saturday. Wednesday or Thursday, they went into this church in Brooklyn, stole a $2 million relic, and beheaded a statue. Did you see it? Did you see that in the news? Probably not. Look it up. It's a thing. But nobody's talking about the persecutions of Christians. Nobody's talking about the anti-Christian hate. Okay? And I'm absolutely fed up with it. It's so upsetting because none of our elected officials ever talk about the anti-Christian sentiment or the anti-Christian hate that's going on in our country right now. That continues to grow and grow and grow. We get admonished for praying. We get admonished for talking about the Lord. We get admonished for talking about Jesus. You can't do those things, okay? It's a problem, okay? Well, where the hell is our religious freedom? Who cares? Now, let me jump into it real deep, what we got going on here in Rochester right now. And this is why it's so frustrating to me, right? So, right now, they've got this tour that's coming on. It's called, it's going to happen in August. It's called the Reawaken America Tour, right? So, the Reawaken America Tour is like a Christian revival, okay? The guy that's doing the tour, Clay or whatever his thing is, like, I don't know the dude personally. I never met him. But I did some research into him a little bit. He looks like a business person who's gone through some different changes in his business. And now he's landed here, and this business motto is working for him. Do I completely agree with him? No, not really. Is he bringing people to God and Jesus? Absolutely. So can I completely admonish him? Not at all. Okay. So now some of the people that are coming, it's mostly like a large portion of the whole event. It's like 3 hours of prayer and all of this Jesus stuff. A lot of Jesus. But it's also got some American patriotism in it too, okay? So now we're being told that we can't care about our country. We're being told about the land of the free and the home of the brave. We can't be proud of our country. We're getting told that the American flag is triggering. Are you serious right now? They were burning the American flag the other day in New York City, protesting for George Floyd's anniversary. Are you serious? Secondly, did you ever see that man burn a flag? Why are you doing that? You didn't see him do that. Why are you doing that? And how are you trying to do that in somebody's name? Are you serious? This is a problem. We got a serious problem. Our nation was supposed to be a place of religious freedom based on Judeo-Christian values, and now they're erasing Christianity from everything. They don't want you to pray in schools. They don't want you to do anything religious, and don't have anything to do with don't talk about the Lord, right? You can't do that. Excuse my language, because it might offend somebody. It might hurt somebody's feelings. Somebody might be an atheist or what's the other one? Agnostic. Okay, which is a whole nother conversation. That's not even anyway. They might be offended. They might feel some type of way. Are you telling that to Muslims? Are you telling that to Jewish people? How come Christians are the only ones who get that? How come we're the only ones who have to deal with that completely disregard for our religious values and views? How come? But I continue. So this dude and his revival tour, Reawaken America. Okay. So it's got a couple of controversial headliners. I'm not very big into some of these people, but let's dig into it. So Michael Flynn is coming. Okay, Michael Flynn was a former general. And then he got on Trump's campaign team. Okay, so I'm not very fond of him because I feel like he was a general, and then he went into politics, and then he got really, really political, and I just have a higher standard for generals, which he wasn't able to meet. Okay, but he wasn't the only one. Most of the generals that were in that administration, I didn't care for because I wasn't liking the way that they were maneuvering, regardless. Okay. Man, I love me some military and generals, but that's neither here nor there. And then we've got, I think Eric Trump is supposed to be coming. And I'm just like, who is Eric Trump? Right? Who is Eric Trump? Does anybody even know? Like, I don't think that, like, most people even know who Eric Trump is. Donald Trump, they know him. Trump Jr., they know him. His daughter, they know her. They know Ivanka. Hell, they even know Jared Kushner. But who the hell knows Eric Trump? Okay, no offense, Eric, if you watch this video. But it is what it is. Okay? Then I guess they got Roger Stone. Now, Roger Stone is a crazy character, okay? He's something else. He's a piece of work. Okay? But, I don't know. Roger Stone is something else. But he's allegedly supposed to be coming now. Are all of these people going to come? I doubt it. So, But regardless, you know. And then there's going to be like a ton of different pastors and a ton of different preachers and stuff like that. Just a ton. Like, you should see the picture for it. It's like 60 people on there. Because, like, it's a 2-day marathon revival. Like, if you've ever been to a revival, I don't know. Sometimes we have them here in the city. A different church will put them on. Like, it's a whole weekend of prayer and festivities related to Christiandom and stuff like that. It's actually usually very spiritually fulfilling and is good for fellowship and people that are like-minded, and you get to worship together, and it gives you a feeling of positivity, right? So, back to the tour itself. So, it's a Christian-based religious event with a couple of controversial speakers who consider themselves to be patriots, okay? Now, here is what the issue is with this, okay? So, our elected officials on the Democratic side are trying to shut this down. Why, right? Why? Let's break into it. So, it first got issued by the Democratic caucus, in a repudiation got issued by the Democratic caucus in the county legislature, okay? Now, all of them aren't bad. Some of them don't know any better, but some of them are absolutely terrible. And if you're listening to this, you probably know who you are. It's only about 1 or 2 of you that I don't mess with. So, I'm talking about you. But the rest of y'all can be forgiven. But the fact of the matter is this. They came out and they said that this event is an extremist event. It's a anti-LGBTQ event, which they forgot the plus and they forgot the T, right? So, I mean, how you gonna forget the plus sign? And you're talking about you support these people. You gotta get them their plus. Anyway, I'll further on refer to them as the alphabet people because it's just too many letters now. So, they also said that it's anti-Judaism. Or what'd they say? Anti-Semitism. That's what you say, right? Anti-Semitism. Like, Mike Flynn, like, bleeds Israel. Are you serious right now? Like, he talks about Israel and supporting Israel all the time. But we're not going to we're going to come back. Okay? So, it also said, what did it also say? It also said a bunch of conspiracy theorists, QAnon people, and how did they say it? Ooh. What was it? Anti-vaccine something. I don't know. It doesn't even matter. It was some crazy nonsense that they just added after anti-vaccine just to make it even sound even more crazy. So I want to just point out that most of those things don't even go together. They don't, regardless of anything. So if their issue is the controversial figures, let's break it down specifically talking about the controversial figures, right? So first of all, I don't pump with QAnon at all. At all, because I believe very heartedly that they mix very serious facts, which seem like they're conspiracies, with fiction or false promises. And I don't like that, okay? I don't like that. Because they make everybody that sees a lot of what's really going on seem out there, and it's not true. So, but you never heard QAnon say anything anti-alphabet people. Never heard them say anything like that. Okay, they say a lot of stuff, right? Some of it's out there. Never heard that. Okay. Secondly, QAnon is not a person and or a group. Okay, QAnon is more like Anonymous. If you guys know who Anonymous is, a multi-collective of non-coordinated hackers across the world who have taking that moniker onto themselves, that don't really associate with each other, don't really work in any type of orchestration or anything together. So anybody can put up something on the internet and say that it's QAnon. And nobody'd ever know because they're not affiliated, they're not coordinated, and they're not anything. Kind of like anonymous. Anybody can say that they're anonymous. Okay? The hacking group is what I'm talking about. If you know what the anonymous hacking group is, and check them out. Okay? So I haven't heard them say anything about that. I haven't heard them say anything anti-Semitic either, right? So Michael Flynn doesn't say anti-Semitic stuff. I haven't heard it. I haven't even heard him say anything anti-alphabet people. Now, Roger Stone, I don't pay too much attention to him, but his books and his movies and his political strategy is off the charts. That dude is on point. Okay, but he is a hell of a character, for sure. Eric Trump, don't nobody know what Eric Trump said. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody can tell you anything that Eric Trump ever said. Again, Eric, if you're watching this, I don't mean it as an insult, dude. I'm just telling it like it is. Okay? So, if these controversial speakers aren't saying the stuff that they're saying, how can they say it out of their mouth like it's okay? But wait. The plot thickens, right? They also called this event a Christian nationalist event. Okay? Trying to add Christian nationalism in there, like Christian nationalism is bad. But we live in a Judeo-Christian nation, and you should be able to be proud to be a citizen in your country. A few years ago, India passed a nationalism law because people weren't being patriotic enough. So now they have to play the Indian national anthem more places, at more events and more things like that. They even have to play it ahead of any movies in the movie theater. So that's interesting. I like that concept because they've taken the pledge out of the school. They've taken the, They've taken the pledge out of the school. They've taken the, prayer's definitely gone out of school. And when was the last time you heard the national anthem? I don't know. But gone are these things in which we show reverence for our country, reverence for the people who have sacrificed for our nation, for our freedoms and our liberties. Reverence for those who have died in the hardships of our nation that have been thrust upon them by a nation that was continually developing and to this day is continuing to develop and advance and attempt to be better and get better. Because America's not perfect, but golly gosh, I love my country. Okay? So, I wave the American flag. I love my country. I stand for the national anthem. I sing the national anthem. I say the pledge. The pledge is my favorite part of any event. Okay? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, okay? Can we get that part? Unity, not division. One nation, even though it's 50 separate states and a state is a country, look it up, okay? One nation, under God. Under who? Under God. It's no wonder that they try to take the Pledge of Allegiance out of school because they don't want God anywhere in it. Under God, with liberty and justice for all. Not for some, for all. Which is the ideal that we're supposed to be reaching up and reaching for, right? Liberty and justice for all. So you're trying to shut down this event, and you mean to tell me that this is liberty and justice for all? Because of what, right? Isn't the First Amendment free speech? And then you're like, oh, well, no, it's hate speech. Really? Show it to me. Show me the recording of a thing in this event in the past, because they've done a tour in many cities. I don't know what number they're up to right now, but I've seen a lot of their clips from their other places that they've been. So, show it to me, right? Show it to me, okay? It's not that it's anything hateful about this. There's nothing anti-black. You see that they didn't say anything anti-black, right? They didn't say anything anti-black, but in the little memo from the Monroe County Caucus, they were like, oh, this isn't a black and brown neighborhood, and it's not gonna be good for being in a black and brown neighborhood. What? But the things that you listed, none of the things that you listed are against black people. None of them. None of the things that you listed, I just listed the ones that they listed. None of the things that they listed are against black people. So how are you going to tell me that it's bad for black and brown people? How are you going to tell me that? How are you going to tell me that? What, because maybe a Christian who believes in their country is a Christian nationalist and you're trying to make that as if it's a bad thing? I'm a nationalist. I'm a Christian. Does that make me a Christian nationalist? Is that a bad thing? What about the Jewish nationalists? Are Jewish nationalists bad? Question mark. What about the Muslim nationalists? Are the Muslim nationalists bad? Question mark. Like, have you ever even heard them say such ridiculous nonsense? Okay, and they're out there. They're out there. So, what the hell, right? Why are you trying to make Christian nationalism bad? Why? Can you make that make sense to me? It makes no sense at all. And it's highly problematic because, yet again, they're trying to bash, deregulate, and eviscerate Christiandom. So, I think that this is a very, very negative thing that continues to happen. And it's not being addressed. And it's very upsetting. Not only that, we also went into an issue of then the president of the county legislature issued a repudiation. Oh, well, because of the events in Buffalo, again, black people, because of the events in Buffalo, this thing shouldn't come here. Well, but again, she listed different things, again, that were issues, the same ones that I listed before. But again, none of them were negative for black people. None of those are anti-black anything. None of them, not one. Not one is a hateful thing or a negative thing to black people. I never heard QAnon say anything bad about black people. Michael Flynn, Roger Stone. Even though Roger Stone, again, that man is a piece of work. So if he said something in the past, I wouldn't disbelieve it. That man is, he's something else. But again, I've never even heard him say anything. And Roger Stone is a lot of things, but I've never heard anybody accuse him of being racist. Okay? General Flynn either. And not Eric Trump. Again, nobody knows about Eric Trump. Sorry, Eric. I'm just telling it like it is. Okay? So, what the hell does this have to do with being harmful or against black people? I don't see anything about that at all in any of the issues that you listed. So how are you going to tell me as a black person that this is a negative thing for us? Explain it to me, because nothing about black people was listed on your issues. So if nothing about black people was listed on your issues, then you couldn't figure something out to say that was about black people. Literally, you mentioned every other thing, every other reason, except anything that's harmful for black people. What? Christian nationalism is bad for black people? Or what was it? Anti-Semitism is bad for black people? What was the other thing? What was it? LGBT, alphabet people rights? Okay? Is bad for black people? Like, which part specifically is the black people? Can you tell me where is the black people? What is the issue? No, because it doesn't exist. Because they made it up. They're just trying to make things sound like they're all associated, and this is what they do. And this really, really upsets me. If they try to, anything with black people, they try to scapegoat us or use us as a way to get through other things and push other different agendas. And they use it as an excuse, or they'll tell us that something's racist when it's not racist at all. It's a bad look, okay? But again, you know what this is? It's a Christian-based event. You know that black people are largely Christian? So why would you want there to be any Jesus, right? Why would you want that to happen? Why would you? Because, of course, you wouldn't want that to happen. Because you're trying to get rid of God. You're trying to get rid of Christianity. You're trying to get rid of the Bible. So, and again, so I look at it like this, right? I'll go back over everything that they listed and said. And I say, okay, where could it be anti-alphabet people? I don't know. I've never heard any of them say anything anti-alphabet people or whatever. So it must be the Bible. It must be the Bible. You coming for the Bible? You coming for the Bible? You coming for, is that what you're doing? Is you coming for my religion? Is you coming for my Bible? Because that's what you're doing, okay? That's what you're doing, and I don't like it, and I'm not going to stand for it, and I'm not going to sit for it either, okay? This is the BS. They continually are chipping away at Christianity, okay? They don't talk about the anti-Christian hate. They don't talk about any of the negative things that are happening to Christians, but they'll talk about everybody else. They'll talk about the Asians. They'll talk about the Muslims. They'll talk about the Jewish. But if you're Christian, fuck you. We don't care about them. You don't care about us. How do you not care about us? We are the bedrock of the foundation of America. Are you serious? Man, listen. Then yesterday, the whole daggone it, all these daggone people running for office in the Senate and the Assembly in our area are gonna jump on the bandwagon and say, oh, we condemn this. None of you know anything about it. None of you know anything about it. You don't. You don't. And then I read some of the news articles about it, and they're like, oh, this, oh, that, and these things and that things and the third, and none of it made any sense, okay? All of it was just punditry and superfluous words and pretty flowerful things to make things sound worse than they are and stuff like that. And it was extremely upsetting, right? Because there was no substance. Like, I'm really trying hard to understand where they're getting these ideas and concepts, but they're not. They're trying to tie it to something that never existed because that's what they want to do, because they're concerned that they're going to say things like, oh, the election was not safe. But I live in Monroe County. Let me tell you about our elections here. We're heavily Democratic, and every year in Monroe County, the Democrats sue other Democrats talking about the election wasn't fair, the election they cheated, this, that, and the third. This is a heavily Democratic county. Every single year. 2001, 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, every single year. Okay? So, and it's a heavily Democratic county, and they're suing other Democrats over the election. So you make that make sense to me. So if these people want to say that the election system isn't safe, which we know the election system isn't safe, and if you say that it is, you haven't been paying attention to Congress, because when Obama was in office, they put together a bipartisan committee for election integrity, and I'm trying to make sure I get this number right. I think it was, they got like $240 million, $41 million or something like that. They have more money, but anyway, expenditures. But they never did anything with the money. They never spent it, not a penny, on election integrity. And this was commissioned under Obama. But nobody talks about that. Why? Okay? And they're going to tell you, oh, well, they can't say that there were issues with the election because there were no issues with the election. But there were issues with the election. There are always issues with the election. In Monroe County, again, 2020, they sent back 100,000 mail-in ballots. We only have 750,000 people in our county. So you mean to tell me they sent back 100,000 improper mail-in ballots? That's 1/7 of the population. And you know that all of them aren't registered to vote. It's more like 500,000, and probably actually a little less than that. Okay, from people who've died and moved out, because we got dead people on the voter rolls. Yes, dead people really are on the voter rolls. You can go down to the county and you can ask for the voter rolls, and you will see dead people on the voter rolls. I know, because I got to knock on the doors and collect signatures to petition to get on the ballot. There are dead people on the voter rolls. Can dead people vote? Who knows? We don't check voter ID. So do we need voter ID? Yes. Do we have voter integrity issues? Absolutely. Okay. Do I want to talk about the election in 2020? Absolutely not, because it's a serious issue that nobody wants to look into. Like, nobody wants to look into it because they'll say, oh, this about Trump, that about Trump. I don't care about Trump, okay? No offense to anybody who does. I care about my election system. I care about election integrity. I care about the future of my nation. And if you are not able to assure me that there are going to be safe, free, and fair elections and every person gets one vote, okay, and it's only for citizens, and it's only for the citizens that are still currently alive, we got a problem, okay? And they'll tell you, oh, voter ID is racist because Black people don't have ID? What black people don't have ID? What black people don't have ID? Small children? What did... ID is only in where I am, it's like $5-10. In 365 days, you couldn't get $5 or $10 to do your civic duty and go vote. You understand what I'm saying? And in places where they have voter ID, they have it where you can get like a free voucher for your ID so that you can get a specific voter ID. So what the hell are they talking about? Okay, we need voter ID. We need voter integrity. We need people to look at these things, but they don't want to look at them. It's very, very problematic. Okay? So, but again, back to this event. It's not that they're mad that they're doing an event. It's that they want to sensationalize something, right? So now they've got all of these groups riled up against this thing because they say that it's anti-this, it's anti-that, with no substantiation or no proof. Okay? Basically what it is they don't want you to hear ideas that they disagree with or deem negative for their party. Okay? They don't want... It's not about you. It's not about the event. It's about the ideas and the concepts. It'll say, oh, well, that's some of the thoughts and things that the people that were shooting up people had. Really? Really? Because the people that have the thoughts and feelings that you have burned down all the businesses in my neighborhood. Tore up different things. Destroyed the police station. Flipped over police cars. Caused billions of dollars in damage across the nation. Those are your people that share your ideals. Okay? Are you serious with me? Are you serious with me? Like, you can't be serious. Like, it's frustrating that nobody stands up and nobody speaks up and nobody says nothing. So I swear to good golly gosh, if it's got to be me to stand up and say something, I'm going to say something because ain't nobody else saying nothing. And they're letting them get away with this stuff. They're letting them get away with pushing anything that's a Christian thing out continuously. The news, the media, the, the music industry, okay? Sex, drugs, and whatever you call it. What's the word that I'm looking for? Lechery, whatever. Okay, whatever you want to call it. But it's bad, you guys. It's bad. No more values. Nothing wholesome. Nothing to do with God. Can't say the Lord. Definitely nothing to do with Jesus. And it's upsetting because at the end of the day, they're trying to shut down a Christian event because they're going to have some people there that are politically active, that say things that are counter to what these people who are opposing it believe. But we have freedom of speech, right? Right? We do have freedom of speech still in this country. I would hope so. I don't see it. They're starting to take it away, little by little, chipping away. Freedom of religion, that's out the window. Okay, we saw how they shut down the churches and stuff like that. We saw that they're coming for our religion, that they keep doing it. Okay, and again, this is why I wish that the Jews would stand up too. Like, I know that a lot of you guys see it. I know you see it, but you're not being vocal about it. Like, we need your support. Like, for real. I'm not talking about this event. I'm just talking about in general, about religion. Okay? They are trying to get rid of all of our religions. Okay? And it's bad. And you see it. I know you see it a lot more than some of our people. Okay? But I need everybody to wake up. Things like what they're doing by trying to shut down this event are extremely negative. Did they shut down any of the Black Lives Matters events when they were at the police station flipping over cars, setting them on fire? No. Did they shut down any of the Black Lives Matter things when they came through my city and tore my whole city to F up? And that was black and brown neighborhoods, right? And most of these people were white people from the middle of nowhere, Sweden and Penyan. And they get to go back to their nice homes after they tore up my neighborhood and my community. Are you serious? Man. And these people want to get up here and talk about Jesus, man. Are you serious? And that's what you want to, that's what you want to be like, oh no, they can't talk about Jesus, and they definitely can't talk about election integrity, and they definitely can't talk about anything else they want because it might get people to think different than what we want them to think. Oh no, we can't have that. People can't think different. Oh no. Excuse me? That's not how America goes. That's not how America's supposed to work. And the fact that you're trying to say that this is going to breed hate and hatred, and it's because it's a black community, but then you list none of the issues that impact the black community in your little thing about what's wrong with the thing. None of them. Then they're like, oh, well, some of these people talk about great replacement theory. First of all, you made great replacement theory up. You made that up. That wasn't even a thing until a couple of weeks ago, and still nobody knows what the fuck it is. Okay, you made that up. Okay? Nobody knows what that is. The closest thing that we have ever seen in this country to great replacement theory is that the Mexicans took our jobs thing. And that was a real thing. The Mexicans took the jobs. It's a real thing. Why did the Mexicans take the jobs? Because Mexicans work hard. And they tend to take jobs that people don't necessarily want, and they tend to work for less. Because America is built on the back of paying people less to do the work under the table or out or for free under slavery and stuff like that, because that's how America rolls. Okay? Any way that you can increase your profit, that's what America's about. That's what America does. Okay? So don't tell me that it's not, that it is something that it's not. Anything close to great replacement theory has never been about blacks. It's always was about Spanish. Okay? Because you know why? Because another thing that they like to talk about, the abortion, right? The abortion, we done lost about almost 50 million black babies. They killed off. You know Margaret Sanger, the lady that founded it, she was a racist white eugenicist. She said that she wanted to get rid of all the blacks, okay? But we're still up here propping up Planned Parenthood and abortion to kill all the black babies. Almost 50 million black babies murdered. You make that make sense to me. And then you're going to talk about great replacement theory? We ain't got enough blacks. In 3 generations, black Americans are going to be extinct if we don't start having more kids. So please, do not tell me that BS. Okay, that has nothing to do with us. Okay, because some whack job lunatic who threatened to shoot up his school and used to cut the heads off of cats and stuff wants to say that he took up some banner and you believe the freaking whack job. Okay? Clearly he didn't know up from down, left from right, and had no sense of anything. And you want to say that he's racist because he started spurting all of this racist thing. I think the guy was out of his mind, because very clearly before that he threatened to shoot up his school. He's from the middle of fucking Whitey'sville. No black people there. So who was he going to shoot? Clearly white people. So that, or the rest of that stuff came afterward. Somebody radicalized him. That's got nothing to do with anything. Okay? And we could talk about who probably radicalized him, because we got a whole bunch of these alphabet organizations that run around radicalizing people that work for our government. But that's not something that anybody wants to talk about, even though the kidnapping, supposed kidnapping, alleged kidnapping of Greta Witchemeyer, all of the people that were in that case got off scot-free because they said that the FBI was the one who planned it and that they were trying to push those people into actually kidnapping her. Yeah, this is a real thing. And if you study the history with the Black Panthers and Malcolm X and the same thing and other things, the FBI has done that historically. I ain't got no beef with y'all guys. I'm just telling the facts of the history. You know, that's your history, FBI. That is what it is. That's all. Okay? But then they also said in the document, well, Michael Flynn got accused of lying to the what do you call it? Lying to the FBI twice, right? This is coming from the same people who are sponsoring defund the police and F the police movements. They're mad at him because what? He lied to police? First of all, we've discovered now through the Durham trial, which is finishing up all of these prosecutions that they've got. Look up the Durham trial, okay? It's a special prosecutor trial about the Crossfire Hurricane investigation, which is what they're trying to talk about when they're talking about Michael Flynn. Come to find out that Carter Page was working for the CIA the whole time. Yes, Carter Page, the guy who they had who they used to get the wiretap on and stuff, and tried to get all of these people all caught up in this nonsense. Okay? He was working for the CIA. So who knows what operation the CIA was working with and what Michael Flynn had to do with that. And if he had to not tell what's going on to the FBI or whatever the case is. And then the question is what was the real lie that they said that they accused him of telling to the FBI? Because I just saw Michael Sussman the other day. He was on trial for lying to the FBI, but because of the amount of time, the time frame, the jury couldn't take in certain information because it was already on, what do you call it? Not the time limits, the term limits. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. The limits, statute of limitations. Okay? So, but this is an ongoing thing with Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton just got fined, okay, $250,000 over this stuff, okay, because they were perpetrating a fraud, trying to make it look like that Sussman was coming to the FBI with information on Carter Page and these other people that were working for the Trump campaign as a good American citizen, when he was working for the Clintons the whole time, and everything was made up. Everything. This is what the Durham investigation has revealed. Go look it up. Like, this is a real thing, real special prosecutor for the government right now. Go look it up. Okay? So, anyway, long story short, I'm tired of them tearing down Christiandom. And I'm tired of nobody not saying anything or standing up. And I'm tired of them making anything that they think isn't what they want to hear or disagrees with what they think evil. Because it's not. Just because they don't like it doesn't mean that it's wrong. You got to try to make something way worse or way different than what it really is to try to make it seem like something that it's not. And it's wrong. And it's wrong and it's wrong and it's wrong and it's wrong. And wrong is wrong and wrong is not right. Okay? You guys be blessed and be well. I'll catch you later.